Willkommen! Let's get familiar with some 70s German engineering.
Check it out, 76 Mercedes 450 SL. This one's not mine. Someone came across my website and said, hey, I got this thing, can you fix it up? I said, well, I've not done one of these before, but I would like to. So let's kind of crack into it. I just put a new battery in it and we got the keys for it. So the engine turns over and the lights and things come on, and now at least I can unlock the steering to roll it around. But it is original. The plastics on the inside are okay. And we're gonna have to replace some stuff. The door pulls have been removed. This window does not go up, which is probably, I assume the panel's probably been off. It's dirty. It smells like, you know, mouse droppings and old underwear. I'm gonna leave the hood unlatched for a while because the hood pull is broken, the handle. But it's a 4.5 liter V8. It's a Bosch. I think it's a K-Jetronic fuel injection on this thing, the M117. So I'm gonna get it cleaned off, knock off the dust and the spiders and stuff before I pull it in the garage. And then we'll jack it up and see what we just got ourselves into. Well, I was wrong a little bit. It's a little worse than I thought it was. Yeah, so fuel pump, I can send some battery juice to the fuel pump. It will come on, but it does not come on when you turn a key on. So there's some stuff between the engine and the ignition and the pump. We've got to investigate that to see why the pump's not activating. But if you pour gas down the intake, it will fire up for a second. So it's got more rust than I thought. This is what we were looking at earlier, the bottom of the battery tray. That puppy's pretty crunchy. We got a little bit of crunch there. And this little heat shield above the muffler. The floor pan in the trunk is basically gone there as well. Let's just keep crawling under the car. Now the rear floor pan is pretty much toast. Here on the driver's side, here on the passenger side. Here's that Flintstone access hole in case you got to push it by foot. So definitely doing some metal work on this thing. Now we see some juice coming out, so at least we know there's juice in there. That's transmission. Also, the engine hemorrhages oil just from the few times that I force-fed it gas and started it up. It just dumped oil. I mean, it probably lost 1 or 2 quarts. So as I'm investigating here, we can see, so oil pan, filter, and it's just dripping like brand new fresh oil off the bottom of the filter. So if we look up here, see if I can get the light. There's the top of the filter housing, but that's not where it's coming from. There is, you see that little, in the center of the frame, there's a little hole that's like a little pipe that's not connected to something. Well, beside it, there, now we can kind of see, there's a little hose that's supposed to be on there. So I suspect all the oil is circulating, yeah, out of that hose and just dumping out instead of going through, you know, the cooler or whatever is up here. So we're gonna hook that up real quick and then see if we can make that fuel pump live. And then hopefully it's gonna actually run and drive and we'll know what else is wrong with it. Okay, so I just pulled the filter off, and the little filter housing just bolts to the side of the motor. It looks like that seal is actually okay. One of the issues is, does that look straight to you? This threaded portion is what goes into the filter housing. No, it's not. So as I see if I can hold it still, and spin it, Yeah, you see that thing just moving around like that. So this cannot get a flush seat. So I'm gonna have to pull that apart and see if I can straighten it or replace it. And with those hoses off in there, I've got this little doohickey out. So this has basically a vacuum valve in there. So there's a vacuum line hooked up to this nipple. And you can see how dirty that is. This is where that hose was supposed to go. It's supposed to open and close like that. So we're gonna get that stuff cleaned and put back together and see if that makes a difference. Okay, why was this thing hemorrhaging oil everywhere? A couple of reasons. First, that valve body right there, see it's all cleaned up and put back together. The fasteners were gone, so it was just floating around, which is why that upper hose came off of it. So we were losing oil and vapor there. And then, so there's the seat for the oil filter. You see there's a big threaded portion up there. So this goes into the block, that big threaded portion, and it's got another threaded portion here on the inside. So this is at the engine block. The oil filter canister gets a spring washer down in there, and the filter down in there, and then this bolt goes through there to mate here. And then that will compress everything and get the O-ring to seal. But the problem was this bolt is okay, but the threads inside here are messed up, like it's just been cross-threaded. So I'm gonna clean this out real quick, chase those threads, and get this bolt to go in there straight rather than like this. So then if we can get the filter to mate to its housing straight, it will not leak. With the bolt going in there crooked, it's going to push the whole filter off center, and then it's just going to leak around the O-ring. So let's take care of that. Still working on the fuel conundrum for this Mercedes. We're making progress. So I'm going to pull all the injectors, put them in the ultrasonic. That's actually that awful noise that you hear in the background. I've got my carburetor for my old 81 Ford getting cleaned out right now, but so just popping off the lines here, we can see, looky there, there's an obstruction. Let's get a pic. Oh yeah, that should not be there. Hey, there comes some fuel. Get that diarrhea out of there. I'm going to pull this off and clean it. And I think I'm going to end up rebuilding this Bosch injection unit. We can still get seal kit and stuff for this. So I'm going to go ahead and take it apart and clean it real good. But I suspect just freeing up the lines and making sure the injectors aren't stopped up is going to get this thing running acceptably. Okay, so I've got the injectors pulled. They're in the ultrasonic cleaner, and the key is on right now, but it does not activate the pump until the engine is starting or until you press. See how gas just came out right there? So this plate has a sensor on it. When the engine is running, this plate completes the circuit, ground. So obviously, engine being air pump, vacuum, pulls that plate down, and it tells this thing to command the fuel pump to stay on the whole time it's running. But right now, the car is not running, so no fuel comes out until. Now this also tells us that the switch works, the plate, everything here functions just fine. We're gonna bleed this stuff out. I'm gonna put a hose on here and run it down to a can, because look at that. That gas is not going to treat those injectors very well. So we're going to have fresh gas in the tank and a fresh filter, so we're going to bleed this stuff out until we get clean gas. Okay, this is where we are on this Mercedes. So you see I've got some makeshift fuel line here because as I was getting all the stuff clean. I cleaned all the fuel injectors and the ultrasonic and just blew out all the lines and stuff to make sure fuel's going to come out. And there's one of these fittings. It's male on both ends. It goes in right here. But I dropped it and I can't find it. It's got a little filter built into it. So what I did for the time being was just stuck a brass inline adapter in there, and I've got obviously a can filter on the line. And I'm just going to turn on the key, and then we're going to hold this down, and that's going to force fuel through this line. And then we should see fuel coming out the individual injector lines. And once we kind of purge and flush that, then I'll hook up all the injector lines and we'll try and start this thing up. I suspect it may have been parked a long time ago because this fuel injector, the clamp right down there that holds the injector in, that bolt was snapped off in the manifold. So I had to drill it out and use a speed remover to pull the old bolt out. So now that thing can actually get clamped down. So previously, if you tried to run that with no clamp, it would probably just kind of push the injector up and get fuel everywhere, and you'd lose compression in that cylinder. That may have been why it was parked, but we're going to find out real soon what else is wrong with it. Okay, so key is on, and all I got to do is push this plate down and it should send fuel through there. But now it's only just kind of spitting a little bit of fuel, almost just vapor. I need it to be pouring out of those lines. There we go. See, now we got some fuel coming out. Let's go, gasoline, keep coming. I do need to make sure that I've got plenty of gas in the tank. If the tank is already low, it's just siphoning, a bunch of air through the pump, so we're not getting a good fuel stream. But that works. The lines are clear. We've got fuel at the end of the line, so I'm going to go ahead and connect the injectors up, and we'll try it again. We'll just turn it over and see if it'll even try to come to life. Okay, just got the injector lines kind of snugged up. Something's probably going to leak, but let's just see if it's going to start up. This is going to test that the pump actually comes on while the engine is cranking. If it does not, then we might have a fuel relay issue, but I can still trick it by, I'll just shove something in here to make that pump come on. But let's see if it will under cranking. Alright, here we go. Nothing yet. I suspect it tried to start it first because I'd already pressurized the line by doing this. So the pump is coming on. We've got a little bit of leaking right here. Let's go ahead and put some gas in there. Try again. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. I might pour a little gas down its throat right here and just see if we can make it run for 1 or 2 seconds, and maybe it'll start really pulling some gas out of the tank. But again, the gauge is saying the tank is empty, so it might just be kind of on its last cup of gas in there. Let's see. Okay. There's a chance that it's also super flooded if the injectors were actually putting gas into the combustion chamber, and now we just soaked the combustion chambers. Let's let it dry for a few minutes, and we'll just try it again. Check it out! It's running under its own power. Obviously it's thinking about what to do with idle and all that, but this thing hadn't run in a long time, and it actually sounds pretty good. There's no like rod knock or lifter tick or anything like that. It's kind of shaking, it's got some bad gases trying to work out, and there's probably some air in the line. Heard a little bit of knock there. There's really no smoke coming out of the exhaust, so that's good. So I'm gonna let it run for a sec, watch the gauges, temperature, things like that. Put it in gear, see if we got transmission. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Get my wrenches out of the way so they don't fall. Basically, all I did there was pull each injector again and clean them all out. And flow some gas through there. Let's see what kind of throttle response we get. Almost none. It does nothing. We got no brakes. It's in reverse, but we got... Oh, that wheel is trying to move a little. We just have no throttle, so I don't know if the pedal is hooked up to anything. Oh, we had some wheel movement that time. Let's see if she'll start back up. Got no brakes. Looks like we got transmission. So we got to sort out some brakes for sure and figure out why we don't have neutral. Just go straight from reverse to drive. Anyways, and we're idling super high with no throttle response. So we got a few things to fix, but at least it runs. There, I'm gonna count that as a win. We'll count that as a win today. Yeah, it's gonna, once these seals warm up, it's probably gonna start, we see the smoke coming out, it's gonna start leaking oil, burning off that old 10-year-old oil that's all over the engine once this thing gets hot. So I'm gonna let it cool off for a little bit and just kind of raise it on the lift and give it a visual inspection, and then start it back up and run it again and just let it run and just see what it does.
I guess we'll address that next time. Thanks for watching.